Welcome, James. Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe. Like, click on that subscribe button, okay? Please like, please comment, please share my videos. Tell your friends to tell their friends to come check out what we've got. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how I actually style my 14-inch Brazilian that we made last week. If you guys don't remember, I made a frontal wig, which was quite hard, right? And today, guys, we're working outside. We're experiencing load shedding, so it's dark. So I'm not sure how the lighting is gonna work out because I am rather in the shade, and we gotta keep the videos rolling. So load shedding cannot like be stopping us. So let's get into the video. This is what you guys are gonna need to make this happen. So for this particular tutorial, guys, you're going to obviously need your wig, right? I'm using my 14-inch, like I said. So this hair was just washed after I had made the wig. I didn't do anything spectacular to the wig, so you guys can see it's not straightened. It was just washed and left. You're going to need, obviously, mannequin head as well as your wig stand, right, as a support for the mannequin head. You're also going to need yourself your hairbrush, right? I also have here these hair bands, 2 hair bands to help me secure the hair, but ideally supposed to use hair clips that I am lazy to go and dig for in my boxes, which I'm not going to do. You're also going to need like a mixture. This is water and conditioner. You guys know this is like my famous mix, right? I always have this. I like to hydrate my hair before I actually put on my rollers, which brings us to the last thing. You guys are going to need these Flexi Rods, right? We sell these. You guys can hop along and check them out on our WhatsApp catalog, right? I'll leave the information somewhere, maybe in the description box for you guys to go check. So I have 3 sets of these, and they come in sets of 10, so I'm going to be using roughly 30. I might not use all 30 in this video, but make sure you have enough because you don't want to be running short. You want those curls to be defined, right? So don't be using too much hair on one Flexi Rod. Let's get straight into the video.
So I started off by hydrating my hair. I went in with my mix, which is just conditioner and water. You guys all know by now that is one of my favorite mixes. So when you allow your wig to stand too long after a wash, it does get a bit dry. So I was just like hydrating my hair again before we curl. I like to work with hair that is a bit moist, you know, needs not necessarily dry. I don't think it works out well when your hair is very dry, but that's what I did. So I combed it a bit, and now I'm going to try to section the hair so I can hold it up and work with the back tracks. So I used my Flexi Rods to style this particular wig. I had a pack of 10, as you guys can see, so just open that. And this was what the Flexi Rods look like. So all you gotta do is just take one out, section a part of your hair, alright? And I like to comb it out first and spray it before I actually roll my hair. Also remember not to bulk your hair too much, okay? If you have enough Flexi Rods, then you'll be able to curl your wig properly without having to bulk too much hair on one rod. So I started at the tip and roll in one direction, so we're rolling inwards. So if you just roll the tip and roll it right up to your head, depending where you want your curls to start and stop. I basically just twisted the Flexi Rod after I reached the point where I wanted to actually stop. So I'm rolling it right up. There we go. So that's the first Flexi Rod that I've placed, and now I want to go do the second one. I go in again to spray that section of my hair, and I'm still going to section that hair into maybe 2 parts. Just comb out that hair before I roll it onto my Flexi Rod. Again, you start at the very tip, you roll the tip, and then you roll it inwards, okay? Always make sure you run your hair in the same direction. So when you're rolling up your Flexi Rod, it must always be in the same direction as all your other Flexi Rods, or else your curls will be running in different directions. Obviously, when you start, it is going to be a little bit difficult, especially if your mannequin head is not balanced and you don't have as much stability as you would like. So when you start off, it's hard. Also, Just continue, keep going. Once you're rolled up to half or more than 3/4 of your wig space, you'll find it becomes a little bit more easy and a little bit more manageable. So don't be disheartened at the beginning when you start and you feel like you're not managing. Just make sure you use like proper wig clips, right? I don't have any of my hair clips. I was so lazy to take them out, but they actually help. If you section properly and you hold up your hair properly, it would help. So make sure you use very good hair tools to avoid maybe feeling like you're under pressure or you're not getting anywhere. Section properly, secure your hair properly, and you should be good to go. For each section that I'm opening, I'm making sure that I hydrate the hair and I comb it out. This is very, very important just for manageability, okay, if that's a word, but for ease of work. So I'm doing this process again. I section a small part, comb it out, and then again I tend to spray it again to make sure it's moist and it's hydrated before I actually roll up my hair. So if you've sewn your wig properly, you will notice you won't encounter a lot of problems when you are opening up your tracks and trying to put in your curling rods. But if you haven't actually sewn your wig properly and the distance between your track lines is uneven, then you will notice when you are then applying your flexi rods that okay, you need to be a little bit more diligent when you are drawing in your track lines and actually stick to the guides to avoid having like flexi rods that are unevenly distributed or sitting in a more uncomfortable or like squashed manner. This is when you'll start seeing some progress after like your second track. So all that you need to do is just to continue to roll up your flexi rods and continue to open up your tracks, section your hair properly, and be consistent with what you're doing. Before you know it, you will be done. Again, flexi rods are pretty simple to work with, right? Very easy. They can get messy if you don't create order, but very, very easy to use, super affordable, and I love them particularly for curling. I feel like they have a more solid look, right? The curls are a little bit more defined as opposed to me using other rods, but it's always dependent on what you'd like to achieve. So I'd highly recommend flexi rods, and yeah, you can just you can bend them easily. There's not a lot of work that goes into using them, so I definitely recommend it for beginners. You just need to practice. The more you practice with your flexi rods, the better you get at it, and yeah, that's how we do it. So I'm continuing to section my hair and to rolling it up. Try to be cognizant of your spacing and your technique. Obviously mine isn't that great, but over time you get better, and the more you use them, the better you get at it. So I've just sectioned my hair and we're nearly done, but I wanted to draw your attention to something. If you have a look at this particular track line over here, it's running skew. So when I was sewing this wig and I was sewing in these tracks, I did not stick to my wig guidelines. So my wig lines are skew, and it's not a big problem, but for me it is a big problem. This is what it does. It creates the unevenness, and then it also allows my flexi rods to sit in a manner that is not like orderly, it's not neat. Okay, they become skew because of the work that I put into this frontal. So this was my first frontal attempt. It was definitely challenging, but I need to stress, make sure you draw in your track guidelines and you actually stick to them. You don't want a wig that has uneven track lines that are either skew or have uneven that have been unevenly sewn because you did not stick to your track lines. So try to make sure that the work going in is also pretty neat, right? It does go a long way. And yeah, you see it in simple things like when it's time to style, you know, your flexi rods will be running skew, which I don't like, but it's not, like I said, a major problem. But if you want good work, you also need to make sure the work that's going in at the base is very professional and of a high standard. So don't be like me and draw your track lines unevenly, or else you'll have something that looks like this. You guys can see I'm trying to section this hair to avoid having a flexi rod that I had to bulk hair onto. So yeah, on your first few tries when you're a beginner, obviously it's going to be hard sewing in a frontal, but try to make sure you're very strict. Don't get used to sewing in the incorrect track lines. Use your chalk, use your pen, draw in proper guidelines, space it properly, and stick to those track lines. It will definitely go a long way. So I reached the end of the process, and I think I have applied the majority of all my curling rods onto the wig. I will say for the front, you need to know what you'd like your wig to look like, and that will give you a direction as to how to apply your flexi rods. If you want like a pushback kind of look, then you need to make sure that you apply your flexi rods in such a manner that will allow you to have a full frontal look and having your hair running backwards instead of me, who's going to be maybe opening a line at the top, right? So always be cognizant of that and think about that before you actually start curling your wig. That is the only tip I have for this, but we've reached the end. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Make sure you have enough flexi rods. If anything, make sure you have enough, or else you'll be limited with your styling, and sometimes you might not even achieve the look that you are going for. Clipped in the last one, so this is what our wig looks like. You just shift up the actual wig kit. So this is our wig, right? So James, we reached the end of our video, and you guys can see how beautiful does my mannequin head look. It's all covered in pink. Absolute favorite color, right? Pink is my favorite color, for those who don't know. I have two different pinks. I have a dark pink and like a semi-light pink, but I've used literally all my rods. I only have one left. Okay, so that means all 29 are on this head. I always say bulk stock on your curling rods, right? Because you don't want to, you can't be like literally counting your flexi rods. What happens when you have like 3 wigs to curl and you don't have enough? Always make sure per head you do like, I'm gonna need 40 curling rods, depending on the size, also because they do come in different sizes. Make sure you bulk stock on that. Always buy them when you don't necessarily need them, so that it makes it lighter. You don't have to think about purchasing them, and they are relatively cheap. Like I said, you can also get them from us. But this is my wig. Look at this, right? You can see we used enough. Okay, my wig did not suffer. Okay, I didn't have to like bulk the hair, so I prefer more solid curls. But this is it. Please like, guys, please subscribe, tell your friends to tell their friends to come check out what we've got. I hope you like this video. Very simple. You don't need much. The only thing that's different that you need are your flexi rods. If you have flexi rods, then you don't have to buy anything, and you can curl your own wigs at home. Like I said, the more you do it, the better you get at it. And yeah, see you in my next video. I hope you're liking this video, and I'll shoot a video of what the curls look like tomorrow with the get ready with me.